Bitte buchstabieren Sie Ihren Namen.
Maya, großes M, kleine Eier. Yo, what's up guys, it's Rosebud and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. My new subscribers, please welcome the family, and my audience who always come back to watch my videos, welcome back. I hope you're fine, I hope you're great, and I hope this video finds you well. In today's video, I am having another sit down and chat with you because I want to do another comparison video. In today's comparison video, I want to compare the naming process, procedure, whatever in Germany with that in Kenya. It's interesting. Please stay tuned, and without further ado, let's get straight to it. Alright, I will assume that naming a baby is everywhere in the world a very important thing, because how else is this small little newborn ever going to have a name if you don't give it any, right? And the same is in these two countries. And let me start with naming a baby in Germany. Let's talk about the Vorname, the name, the normal common used name your baby is going to get. Naming a baby in Germany, it's just not a parent thing, but it's also a government regulated thing. What do I mean? Before a couple can name their baby in Germany, there are rules and regulations which the government gives, which you have to follow in order to name your baby. Yep, I'm not crazy. This is true. For this one, Germany has, I think, 5 or 6 governing rules which you have to follow when naming your baby. What are these? For example, the first one, in Germany, a baby is only supposed to have a maximum of 5 names. Yeah, I know in other countries people having 6, 7 names before they have their family name, but in Germany a maximum of 5. If you have more, you've got to delete some, my dear. Sorry, you have to. So the second regulation in Germany, the names have to be gender conform. What do I mean? You cannot call your little baby girl Marcus or Maximilian, and you cannot call your little baby boy Magdalena or Cecilia or whatever, because the names have to conform to their gender, because, you know, confusion and all that. Yeah, it's a rule. The third thing, in Germany, you cannot call your children names in the Bible which have like a negative impression, or they have a negative role in the Bible. For example, names like Satan, Devil, Judas. These names which are associated with some negative impression, some negative character in the Bible, you cannot call the child. The fourth thing, your name that you choose for your baby is not supposed to have an offensive meaning or like an abusive meaning. Like you cannot call someone Arschloch or bitch or Hure, you know, these negative, beleidigend, anstoßende meaning of the words you cannot call your baby, which I think is really nice. Imagine calling your baby such, you know, really abusive names. Horrible. And the last thing, in Germany, you cannot just give your baby a fantasy name. You cannot just think of some, you know, weird thing like Kenyan princess. I don't know, maybe that could be a name, I don't know. But you cannot just erfinder. You cannot just get your own name, fantasize a name and give your child. No. Somehow in Germany, you have to make sure, or you have to show that there's someone else in this planet who carries this name. It's not made up. Yeah, that's it. Is there something else? Yeah, and I think in Germany, you cannot call your children names which are not names. That sounds so diplomatic, so German. I don't know. But really, you cannot call your child names which are not names. What do I mean? I mean, you cannot call your baby things like, I don't know, the Sahara wind, or you cannot call them sunshine, or I don't know, you know the way in other countries you can just call your child Middle June or Middle West. You cannot do that in Germany. No, it has to be like a name. Yes. Alright, so that's about the names in Germany, and those are about the regulations that the government has given the people, the Germans, to govern them on how to name their children. When it comes to the family name in Germany, however, this is a very traditional, cultural thing which has been running over generations and generations, right from the ancestral lineage. They have their name right from the Vorfahren, like the ancestors of the ancestors, and they always carry that name. That means the father will give his child his family name, and the same family name will be carried on and on and on and on and on, yeah, till infinity. That means in Germany you can easily follow up a family line to find out your ancestors, and you just know these are the Webers, or these are the Söders, or these are whichever family name, and this is the line. So everyone who is related to this line will have this name. Okay? Good. Except of course the women, or even the men, who changed their name due to the marriage passage and took the name of the partner, then they don't have this name. Otherwise, everyone else who has the blood of that ancestor will carry that name forever. It's cool. It's kind of cool, right? Yeah. And this brings us to naming a child in Kenya. Yes. So in Kenya, naming a child, naming a baby, is not just the couple's. I'm always saying this sentence. It's not just the parents' duty, but it's like the duty of the whole clan. It's the duty of the whole extended family. It's like everyone who has some connection to this child is involved in naming this child. Kenyans usually have 3 names. It's usually the normal name they were given by, the whole tribe. There is an English name which was given during baptism, and then there is the family name. And let's start with the normal name that is given, by the whole community. In Kenya, it varies from tribe to tribe. Each tribe has its own traditions, its own rules, its own regulations on how to name a baby. In most tribes, the child would take a name depending on maybe the time of day that they came. If they came at night, they would be called night, like Ndugu. If they came during the day, they would be called day. If it was raining, they would be called rain. It would depend. In other times, the child would be called according to their most prominent character, if they are laughing, if they are crying, if they look like stunning, if they look like, you know, if they have this ruling, governing aura around them, something like that. And in my tribe, it's usually the case that when a baby is born, he's always born after somebody. What do I mean? I mean, for example, if I were to born a baby boy, my baby boy firstborn would be named after my husband's father. It's just the way it is. It's a tradition thing. You cannot change. It's just the way it is. So my first baby boy would be named after my husband's father. My second baby boy would be born after my father. If I had a first girl, she would be born after my husband's mother. And if a second girl comes, she will be born after my mother. If another one comes, they go to the firstborn uncle from this side, firstborn uncle of the other side, and so on and so forth, till as many children as you get, as many family members you reborn. And this is so important for my tribe, because everyone, you feel like someone was born after. It's like someone will continue your life if you die. It just gives you that feeling of continuing life, even though you are no longer there, because someone was born after you. So when I was born after my father's mother. And in the first days, they did not give me a name right away. Maybe I did not have any prominent character or appearance or whatever. They did not give me a name right away. So I think for the first month or even year, I carried the name of my grandmother. Yeah. And everyone would come and they would be like, you should name this baby already. They would call me her name anyway. But it took a while before they gave me my name, the one everyone would call me then. Yeah, and this ended up being a character name anyway, which is Kagwiria, which means making others happy. Kogwiria is making others happy, and Kagwiria is a small person or small thing making others happy. Which, yeah, I think many people agree it fits quite well. Yeah, that's how it came to the naming ceremony. So mostly, a child would be born after a family member, but they would give a name according to the character of the baby or a phenomena which is happening during her birth time or something of the sort. So that is the naming of the name. And then comes the baptism, and like you know, we got our Christianity from the Western culture, so somehow the colonizers who were teaching us the Christianity insisted that since they are not able to pronounce these names that we were given, they were definitely not able to pronounce Kagwiria. They said during baptism, every child is going to get an English name. And this is how it stuck up to today. When babies are getting baptized, they get an English name. That's how I got my Rose. Yeah. So, and in such a way, many people end up being called then the English name, the baptism name, instead of the normal name they were given by the family, which I find it kind of a pity, because I ended up being called Rose, and Kagwiria was like a forgotten name, which is an important name. It was a name chosen by the whole clan, by the whole family, and it kind of ended up in the background. Yeah, and then this brings us to the family name in Kenya. This is a little bit complicated, a little bit more complicated than in Germany, where the ancestors and everyone after them takes the name. In Kenya, or at least in the Meru tribe, it is so. When a father gets a child, they take the father's name. Get me right? Not the family name, but the father's name. The name that was chosen by the clan, by the family. In my case, it would be Kageria, but they take the names of the male, of the fathers. That means if my husband, for example, is called James Mugambi Mutwiri, right? Our children would be called Mugambi. All our children would be called Mugambi, not Mutwiri, which is my father's family name. No, they would be called his name, his given name. That means the family name is just restricted to the nuclear family. I cannot follow my family lineage looking at the surname, thinking that they all have the surname, because this is not the case. They just have names which end up in the nuclear family. My children then would be called Mugambi, not Mutwiri. They would be called Mugambi, and that would be their family name. So yeah, those are the differences between baby naming in Germany and in Kenya. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please don't forget to give me that thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed, please do. That helps me so much. And if there's something that I left out, please feel free to write in the comments below and let us all learn from it. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching this far. See you next Sunday. Stay safe, stay blessed and optimistic. Until then, ciao!